What's good, YouTube? It's your boy 2K the God, my man Sess. Welcome to the Gods of Boxing Talk. Now we got my man Triple OG, Mr. Bo, all the way from Illinois, back on the show once again. He's coming to give his professional assessment on the segment we're going to do today. It's going to be at the Gods Speak about Mr. Deontay Wilder, and is he the best heavyweight in that division thus far? Now, this past Saturday, we just seen him go 9 hard rounds with a Mr. Artur Szpilka. In my opinion, he's a C-level fighter. All you guys got to do is go back and watch the Mike Malo fights, right? The first fight and the rematch. That'll tell you he's a C-level fighter. Also, you just go back and watch the fight against Bryant Jennings. Bryant Jennings went ahead and dispatched this motherfucker with no problems. But against Deontay Wilder, at the time of the stoppage, I personally had the fight a draw. What did you guys think about Deontay Wilder's performance? And is he the best heavyweight in the division right now? Bo, I want you to talk first, Bo.
Okay. As always, man, thank y'all for having me. Love being here, man. You guys doing good things.
No doubt.
And as always, again, YouTube, comment, people, this is stuff is subjective. We all gonna have a different opinion. Don't mean nobody's wrong. Don't mean nobody's one right.
Yes, sir.
Let me just say this, starting off with Szpilka, is Szpilka shows what you can do if you're a good trainer with a decent fighter, because he had Ronnie Shields.
Absolutely.
This time. So the Szpilka that fought Jennings was not the one that Deontay Wilder had to deal with.
Okay.
This dude was moving. He was using that jab. He was giving him some angles. I mean, you can clearly, he had lost weight. You can clearly see that Szpilka came and was confident, figured he'd win. And I definitely saw the change that Ronnie Shields did with him. So hats off to him. And that's the reason why I kind of gave Szpilka a chance to win, because I'm like, he got Ronnie Shields.
Absolutely. I said the same thing.
Yeah, he had Ronnie Shields. So that Szpilka that Deontay Wilder faced was not the same dude that Jennings and everybody else faced. But as far as is he the face of boxing? I'm not going to say he's the face of boxing, but I will say he's the most exciting heavyweight we got right now.
Well, not necessarily the face of boxing. That's a different question. We're saying is he the best heavyweight right now?
Nah,
Okay.
he's not the best heavyweight. He's the most exciting heavyweight. Okay, he's the most exciting because he is, I mean, 35 wins, 34 by knockout.
Right.
And everybody wanted to say, oh, this guy wasn't right, this guy wasn't right, that. Bottom line is, the man comes, he's in shape, he gets in there, and the thing that's intriguing about Deontay, the thing that's intriguing to me about Deontay is, everybody talk about all these flaws he has.
Right.
Which means that, okay, he's a beatable champion. But the most amazing thing about it is Deontay Wilder is 6'7", 218, 220 pounds. So he's not a big heavyweight. He's a tall, wildly rangy heavyweight. So that power he got, that's just raw, natural power.
Right.
And at any given time, he's the one true heavyweight outside of Klitschko that we've seen to be able to put you on your ass if he lands that punch. And he believes in that punch. That's the thing I love about Deontay. He don't get frustrated if it's not working, if it's not getting you out of there. He believes that, hey, at any given time, if I keep landing this, it's going to put that ass to sleep.
Right. So
he's the most exciting. To me, he's the most exciting because nobody, like right after Klitschko Fury, we was done talking about that shit the minute that shit was over with. It was that bad. Okay? So that's why I say what you want to say about Deontay. The fact that we still talking about it, the fact that we having this conversation, the fact that people are matching him up with old-time fighters, the fact that people are critiquing his resume, that tells a lot to me about just how good Deontay is and can be. Because if he was nothing, if he wasn't nobody, then we will be talking about him like this. So he's exciting to me. I'm not going to say he's the best heavyweight. I think he would have to gain all the titles.
Right.
And maybe even take on my boy, Mr. Louis King Kong Ortiz.
Oh, no.
Who I think could get that ass.
No, that motherfucker is gonna avoid him like he's the plague, B. He's gonna act like Louis Ortiz does not fucking exist. I'm calling that shit right now, B.
You know what? I find, you know what? if this was anybody else, I would agree. But Deontay actually wants to be known as the best heavyweight. So I think if given a chance, if it came up, I think Deontay would fight him because he wants to prove to everybody.
I don't think so. I think Deontay may want to fight him. I don't think Al Heyman's gonna take that risk.
I'll agree with.
Right.
That I'll agree with.
Right.
But he's the most exciting and the best marketable heavyweight we got right now, in my opinion.
I agree 100%. Seth. The spokesman.
Hey,
look. Here comes the bias.
Hold on, wait a minute. I only got one thing to say before Seth gets started. Everybody go night, nigga.
Oh, shit. Man, I pretty much agree with everything Bo said, man. It was a good fight. It was tough. You know, it was a very tough fight. And Szpilka looked pretty good. You know, he didn't look bad at all. You know, he came at Deontay. He was a southpaw. He was using a lot of movement. He had really good up and down movement as well. But just like my man Bo said, Deontay Wilder is a fighter that does not get discouraged when his money punch doesn't work. And that's what I really, really, really like about him. Because a lot of times when guys hit you with that shot and it don't sit you down, they don't know what the fuck to do from them. You know? And Deontay Wilder, he has that mindset of, okay, you know, it's eventually gonna drop you. It's eventually gonna put him down, or it's eventually gonna change this fight. That's what I like about Deontay. Another thing I like about him is that he's not afraid to let his money punch go. That's the one thing that I hated about Vladimir Klitschko. He would peck you with the fucking jab for 9-10 rounds and then throw one right hand because he was waiting to set up the absolute perfect punch. That's not Deontay Wilder. You know, and he showed that in the Szpilka fight, he showed that in the Stavern fight, he showed that in the Johann Duhaupas fight, that if it's not working, he will stick to it, and not only that, he'll make an adjustment so that it can work.
Okay.
And that's what he really showed me in this fight. You've seen he was hitting Szpilka with some straight right hands. The straight right hands, you know, Szpilka was kind of clowning, he was dropping his hand, he was showboating. So what did Deontay, eventually he ended up knocking him out with a looping right hand.
Yeah.
That's never seen coming because Deontay made the adjustment. And once Szpilka squared himself up and threw the stupidest overhand left I've ever seen in my life, what did Deontay do? He didn't hit him with the straight. He came with a short right looping, with the short looping right hand.
Yeah.
It was a great adjustment. And that's the thing about Deontay. Everybody wants to talk about him being in these tough fights, but at the end of the day, I would rather Deontay be in tough fights than him just go in there and walk over these guys. And for a lot of people, I did not start out as a Deontay Wilder fan. I was very critical on him at first, but after the Bermain-Stavern fight and after a few other fights, I started seeing that this dude is learning on the job.
Absolutely.
He's learning on the job, and furthermore, he's able to go in there and implement what he's learning in the ring.
Right.
So that's what I love about him. I will say this. At this point, if Deontay Wilder is going to go to the next level, I do believe he needs another trainer. He needs a trainer that can take him to that level. Right now, the guy that he has, I think he understands, he knows Deontay, but he just can't take him to that upper echelon level that he's going to need to be at when you start talking about Luis Ortiz and all these other cats. But the fight, I love the fight. You know, I was glad it was tough for him. Because he's shown, another thing he's shown is that he can make it through adversity. He can fight adversity and make it through it because what he always knows in the back of his head, all I gotta do is hit this motherfucker. That's right. All I gotta do. You know what I mean? I gotta land a right punch, time it right, and it's night-night. Deontay Wilder does not rock you. He doesn't drop you. He knocks you the fuck out. And that's what I like about this kid. Now,
he's mentally tough. He's very mentally tough.
Very. You know what? He's mentally tough and he's extremely competitive.
Yes.
That's really what I like.
He believes in his own abilities. He believes he can win. Absolutely.
Right. Exactly. That's what I love about Deontay. And I mean, he's really showing it, man. This is what a heavyweight is made of. This could be, and for everybody out there watching, catch what I said. This could be the making of a great heavyweight champion, of a American great heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
Because what he's showing so far, a lot of guys, they're not showing. Alexander Povetkin, if you ask me, and he's not an American, he's a foreigner, but if you ask me, he broke down in the Klitschko fight. He broke down because he couldn't get past the jab. He didn't know what the fuck to do.
I think it's, yeah, you're absolutely right. I think it's more than that. I think it's the fact that there was a lot of illegal shit that was going on Klitschko's side that Alexander Povetkin had never been able to deal with before. And at the same time, you got to remember Alexander Povetkin was the favorite in all of his fights except the Klitschko fight. So when he wasn't getting his way, that was a different perspective for him. So he had no idea how to fucking handle that shit.
Oh yeah. But and absolutely agree with you, 2K. But that's where that mental toughness comes in, man.
100%. Absolutely.
That's where it comes in. My dad always told me, do it to them before they do it to you.
Absolutely.
And if you go in there with that mindset that this is gonna be a clean fight, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and then the shit doesn't work. I mean, you went for either a short night or a long, disappointing night. So
you know what though? To your point about something, and I noticed this, and it goes to what I was saying about him being excited. You had all the top heavyweights at this man's fight. When was the last time you saw that?
That's true. That's true.
Absolutely.
You had all the top heavyweights: Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, Fury, Povetkin. You had all the top dudes at his fight.
Yeah, I was like, what? I was like, what the fuck is Lennox doing there? My man traveled over across the seas and shit, B.
And you know what, guys? I'm glad you brought that point up, Bo. And guess what Deontay did? He made a statement in front of all of these guys. He made a statement that if you're in front of me for too long, I will send you out here on a stretcher. He said he was gonna Mortal Kombat Artur Szpilka, and he made good on his promise. And it was in front of all the top heavyweights, and that's what I really, really, really appreciate it. One more thing, but hold on before you start. To answer 2K's question, is Deontay the best heavyweight right now? Honestly, I love the dude. I'm high on him. No, he's not the best heavyweight right now.
Who's better?
Right now, Luis Ortiz is better than Deontay Wilder. Because
that's all I want to hear.
Louis get him out of that Cuba, baby.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. So, Luis Ortiz is technically and fundamentally sound. You know, the one thing about Deontay Wilder is he's not technically sound yet, and he's not fundamentally sound.
Absolutely not.
But I do believe his ceiling is very, 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 very high. That's what I love about him. I think he has more potential than any other heavyweight right now.
Okay. So, all right, well, let me get my motherfucking Hulk Hogan on. Because I'm about to throw all y'all motherfuckers out the ring on this Royal Rumble shit, B. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? Hold on. Before you do,
go ahead.
I want to say to Eve's point, to Seth's point about him learning on the job, that knockout punch came because he was using his jab as a rake.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. Yeah. Exactly. He used the jab. He baited him with the jab. And my man Ace made a comment. He was like, yo, it looked like his hand was on the top of Szpilka's head. I was like, oh, because it was just a lazy-ass jab. That wasn't a real punch. He baited that motherfucker with that jab so he could come in square and unleash that left hook. I mean, it was timed. As soon as Szpilka went like this, Deontay already had that bitch coming. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, yeah, that's all that jab was for. Excellent point, bro.
And 2K, where did the punch land? Number two,
right under the earlobe, on the back of the jaw, right here. There's three. YouTube, there's 3 places you can get knocked out from. Paulie Malignaggi can knock your ass out in 3 spots: the temple, right here, what we just talked about, and then the liver. I don't give a fuck who you are. Mike Tyson, Boris Cujo, nigga, it don't matter. Terry Crews, you getting knocked the fuck out by a well-timed punch from a nigga with no power in those 3 spots, dude. And that's coming from 3 guys who've been in the ring before. So, I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum, and I'm gonna wrap this shit up because I got 2 more questions to ask you guys. I was not impressed by the fight. I said, you know, in another video, me and Seth made another video, I said Deontay Wilder was going to beat the shit out of Artur Szpilka. Granted, he did have Ronnie Shields, alright? But I expected Ronnie Shields to only teach Artur Szpilka how to move his head to get around the jab. He didn't necessarily get around the jab. He just did a lot of moving and bouncing on the outside. But as soon as he needed to get on the inside, he was playing it and he was coming forward, just like Johan Duhaupas, just like Eric Molina, and all the other come forward as C and D level fighters that he's fought in his career. Okay? There's absolutely no difference between Szpilka and the rest of those guys whenever he was on the attack. When he wasn't on the attack, it looked great. But it's not going to score many points. Right? Secondly, Eric Molina being in his corner as a sparring partner, right, or in his training camp, that was supposed to teach him how to get inside of Deontay Wilder effectively. I don't think he did that. He did that at some points, right? He moved Deontay Wilder back and he made him miss. But I think it was more scoring points when he got on the inside than it was punches that could devastate Deontay Wilder and touch that chinny chin the way that we're all waiting to see how Deontay Wilder reacts when a nice power punch lands flush on that chin, right? Granted, I had to fight a draw. That's just because of Artur Szpilka's work rate, all right? You got to look at who's dictating the pace when you've got two guys missing shots. And the person that was dictating the pace at the time of the stoppage was Artur Szpilka. That's why he was winning rounds. Deontay Wilder was winning rounds with counter punches. But that's how the fight was close like that. Once again, this is just another C-level fighter. I don't give a fuck who was in that nigga's corner. I saw C-level skill in that fight. I saw Deontay Wilder landing punches, right? This is the one thing I will give him. I saw Deontay Wilder landing punches, flush punches on Artur Szpilka. And Artur Szpilka ate all of them motherfuckers until he caught the one in one of the most devastating spots you can get hit in, where anyone could get laid out flat. You know what I'm saying? I remember distinctly a counter uppercut, a right hand uppercut. It was like kind of like a hook uppercut, came from here. You know what I'm saying? Hit Artur Szpilka flush, just boom, and he goes like this and starts smiling. Now I told my man Ace while we're watching the show, and he's ready to hear what I gotta say. I said, yo, I see something. Seth, I told you last night when me and my man Seth were arguing about this shit, right? I said, I see something. Seth likes to talk about how fighters who fight elite fighters, their power may not transfer to the elite level. That's exactly what the fuck I saw yesterday, alright? Granted, he got the KO, but look at all the punches that landed flush on Szpilka prior to the fucking the shot below the earlobe on the back of the jaw. Prior to that, he was eating them. And this is a C-level fighter.
But 2K, in all honesty, how many elite fighters is in the heavyweight division, though?
This is my point, Bo. When I say elite, I'm not saying elite in boxing. Every division has elite fighters because those are the fighters that are your champions. Those are the guys at the top of the cream of the crop of the division. So I'm not saying Tyson Fury is an elite fighter in boxing. I'm saying he's the elite fighter in the heavyweight division. Alexander Povetkin is another elite fighter in the heavyweight division. Luis Ortiz is an elite fighter in the heavyweight division. I don't think Deontay Wilder's power will transfer well against those guys if he's hitting a guy like Artur Szpilka and he can't knock him out unless he hits him in one of the three vulnerable shots on the face, or the two vulnerable shots on the face.
Oh, but okay, my bad. Here, okay, 2K. We're not gonna stress this out.
No, go ahead.
But I do believe this: when you move up in competition, or when you fight guys who are at a different level than the guys that you were fighting before,
right?
I've always said that, yes, the power is not going to translate. For a lot of guys, it just doesn't, you know. So Deontay Wilder isn't much different, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's still impressive because he's still knocking these guys out. And he's still knocking them out in emphatic fashion.
The only thing I can say is he's supposed to. If Artur Szpilka would have went 12 rounds, I hope to God nobody out there would have been like, yo, Deontay Wilder is a great fighter because he fought a great fighter for 12 rounds.
No.
Okay then. So then we're expecting the knockout. That's what I'm saying. I'm expecting the knockout. Not only am I expecting the knockout, I'm expecting him to dominate these guys. These guys are not on the level that Deontay Wilder is perceived to be. Hold on. He's the WBC heavyweight champion, which means he has the most prestigious belt of the 4 major sanctioning bodies, which also indicates that he is possibly the best fighter in the division. When you're going 9 rounds with a C-level guy, and the fucking fight is a draw, or Deontay up by 1 point.
But he's. I see your point, but he's still getting the knockout. He's still dropping these guys.
But you can't forget how the fight went on, though.
I can't necessarily say that him having the WBC championship automatically makes him elite. You know what I mean? That sometimes that's
a perception. That's what I meant by that. Yeah.
Absolutely. We perceive that, but in reality, nobody would have said that James Buster Douglas was an elite fighter because he beat Mike Tyson.
Oh, he absolutely became elite after that. Now he couldn't.
I don't know.
No. That matters, bro. What you do.
He may have been perceived.
No. What you do in boxing, it's all about what have you done lately. That rises your fucking stock. It doesn't. The skill level he portrayed against Mike Tyson automatically made him elite at that time. Then when he went in there against Evander, his shit dropped back down.
A real elite fighter. But see, yeah, that's the thing though. That's the thing, 2K. Everybody knew. The enthusiasts knew that Douglas was food. They all knew that. They knew after he beat Mike that he was food. And he was going to get ate by anybody that he stepped in the ring with. And that's the reason why his first title defense against Evander, he got the shit beat out of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
he didn't have the same motivation for Evander he had for Mike.
But and then
passed away.
And then on top of that, we don't steal that fight away from Evander. We don't say, oh, he fought a bum to get the title. We say, no, he beat the man that knocked out Mike Tyson. That's what we remember.
Everybody knew what the man that knocked out Mike Tyson truly was. Nobody gave him a chance when he got in the ring with Evander Holyfield because they knew what Evander was bringing and they knew what Bo had showed a consistent pattern of. Yeah. So I mean, I don't think it necessarily makes you elite. Like everybody, I don't think not too many people consider Deontay Wilder an elite heavyweight. I think that I think they perceive him as a heavyweight that has big power that can knock anybody out. Right. Now, to the point that you made earlier, is that power translating to the heavyweight division? First round, second round, third round? No, because that's how he was doing it. I'm sorry, not is it translating to the heavyweight division? Is it translating as he steps up? No, it's not, because he's not knocking these guys out as fast as he was, but he's still knocking them cold.
That has nothing to do with it. What I'm talking about hold on, Bo. What I'm talking about how his power is not transferring to the elite, or it won't transfer, is how Szpilka took the shot. I don't give a fuck about Johan. Johan
Szpilka was a tough dude. He was tough.
How many Szpilka fights have you watched? I've watched Szpilka when nobody knew who the fuck this nigga was.
Yeah.
It's the same dude, I'm telling you. It's just Deontay Wilder is not that good of a fighter.
Okay, have you ever seen him fight the way he fought Deontay? Have you ever seen him fight like that in his career? I haven't seen too much of Artur Szpilka. But to Bo's point, Ronnie Shields changed that dude.
The only thing he changed,
he was an absolute, totally different fighter when he got in the ring. But he came in there with a very good game plan, and he was extremely game.
Like I said, his movement had nothing to do with nothing because it looked. Listen, how the fuck did it? Dude, he has to come forward to get on the inside. How did his move?
Able to. Deontay, okay, look, when you go back and you watch the fight, Deontay really could not time him properly. He couldn't keep him at a good distance properly because of the movement and the footwork that he was using.
I'll give you that.
So now, when he finally lined him up, he knocked him the fuck out. When Szpilka finally stopped moving and he squared himself up, Deontay capitalized because of the adjustment that he made, and he knocked him out. So like I
I don't
said,
think he made too much of an adjustment. He did the same thing that he always did. Szpilka made more of a mistake than Deontay Wilder made an adjustment because he was baiting the jab the whole fucking fight. You know what I'm saying? That's how he was landing the counters earlier. But Szpilka made the mistake of squaring up on the inside, going for the jab, and dropping his fucking left hand so he could throw a hook. That's the mistake he made. If he wouldn't have made that mistake, the fight would have kept going. He wouldn't have been knocked out.
And that's the mark. But that's the mark of a fighter that is truly, truly, truly learning as the fights get tougher. He made a mistake. One more thing, he made a mistake, and Deontay capitalized on it. And that's Floyd says this shit all the time, and I don't mean to bring him up in this conversation, but you make a mistake and you must pay. And that's what happened. Every fighter, I can't stand when guys duck and dodge and they just get out. They get out and they start circling. I can't stand that shit. If you make a guy miss or if he fucks up, you make his ass pay. You put him to sleep or you beat the shit out of him.
That's why I got mad at Floyd against Marcos Maidana in the second round.
Right, exactly.
Let me say this, Bo, and you got the floor right after I say this, man. We could cut my man off.
So, hey, this is good shit. I ain't never seen this like that ever.
So, what I said earlier about perception. When you win a title, I'm from the old school, all right? I don't give a fuck how many sanctioned bodies are out there. When you win a title, you are the elite of the division. Therefore, you need to start fighting the elite in the division. That's one. And two, you need to portray the skills of an elite fighter in the division. I do not believe in prospects winning titles, and just because their skill level is at a prospect level, we're supposed to just ignore the fact that they have a title and let them still fight like a fucking prospect fighting other C and D level fighters. Fuck that. Alright? That's why I'm critical of Wilder, because if he wasn't a champion right now, if he had like the NABF, the NABC, NABO, the motherfucking WBC Silver, WBA International, IBF International, any of those fucking paper titles, I'll be like, yo, he's doing what he should be doing right now. He's okay, he'll learn. But this motherfucker has one of the most prestigious titles out there, right? And he's still fighting like a prospect. That's my fucking problem. He's gonna start fighting the best in the division, and he better shape up now. Specifically, he better learn an inside game. He better learn that shit. Because if you go in there with a Tyson Fury with no inside game, or a Luis Ortiz with no inside game, you're done. You're done. Even a Bryant Jennings with no inside game, you might lose that fight. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, well, yeah, I get you. I believe. My bad, Bo. I swear.
Go ahead,
2
man.
minutes.
Go ahead.
I believe it will. I agree with you. Everything you said, I agree with you. But like I said, the results are still the same. Deontay is still knocking counts out, and he's no matter what round.
Go ahead.
Okay,
I'm not impressed.
I'll give you that.
I can't sit there and be like, yo, that was a great performance.
Oh, no.
Look at what he did.
Nobody better say.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying that. I think it was a tough performance. I even think before the fight, I mentioned that I expected it to be tough because Szpilka was game. He was real game, and I think I told you in the gym, he didn't look scared to me.
Right.
You know, he didn't like he was fearing anything. So I expected him to be tough, but at the end of the day, the results were still the same. You know, so it is what it is, man. We'll revisit this topic when he knock out Alexander Povetkin.
All right,
You know,
go ahead, Bo.
The thing is, Deontay Wilder is an American heavyweight. So because we haven't had an American heavyweight, he's getting all this attention. Now, about him holding the most prestigious belt, look, my biggest problem is not so much with Deontay, it's with the WBC and how they do this ranking shit.
Yeah.
Because Szpilka was ranked in the top 10. Duhopis, I think, was like number 11 or something like that. So, you know, my problem is with the rankings. But he's fighting the guys they put in front of him, and he is knocking them out. Now, he is, to me, I'm not saying he's elite, but because he holds that WBC belt,
No, he's not.
I totally agree with 2K on this one. When you're holding the belt, you got to show me, like, I hated he was throwing them wild ass fucking punches. That shit was pissing me the fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Deontay, why? I hate when he do this shit. and leave all this open.
And this shit here. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, I hate that. But at the same time, it goes to Seth's point. His trainer is Mark Breland, who was always the bigger guy at all his fights.
Yeah.
So he's teaching Deontay how to fight big instead of, hey, how to fight, because Vladimir Klitschko did not have a great inside game. When you got past his jab, he would hold your ass.
Absolutely.
Okay? Vladimir Klitschko didn't have an inside game, but Vladimir Klitschko had what? A right motherfucking hand. I question Tyson Fury chin because he got knocked down by a cruiserweight. All right, but because he's big,
he took Klitschko's biggest 2 punches though, so that shit you gotta erase the. He took Klitschko's biggest 2 punches.
39-year-old.
I don't care.
Who was still scared to let them hands
It's
go.
all about what have you done lately, and lately this nigga took 2 big shots from Vladimir Klitschko. Plain and simple.
Yeah, okay, but can he take 2 big shots from a lively, game confident?
He probably won't even take a shot from him because Deontay Wilder's an outside fighter and Tyson Fury has a fucking 2-inch reach and a 2-inch height advantage, and he fights from the outside that pumps the jab. Probably won't even get hit by it.
Will he use it?
Deontay better learn how to get on the inside.
Now, to me, the question mark is still out on Luis Ortiz. I want to see how would he do when somebody tests his chin as well. So the question is still out on Luis Ortiz. But I will say this: he's probably the most best technically sound heavyweight we got going on right now. But this is why this is exciting, because look at what we're doing talking about Deontay Wilder.
Absolutely.
Look at what this is bringing. So
me and Seth do this shit all the time. We argue. Every time this motherfucker's the topic, me and Seth get in an argument.
well, you know what though? You know what? Deontay Wilder is a beatable champion because of his flaws, but he finds a way to overcome it, and that's what makes it exciting to me. He's a beatable dude. I mean, if you get a guy like, if Luis Ortiz was 6'6", oh, he'd be in fucking trouble.
Okay. So with that said, motherfucking Tyson Fury 6'9". And he can box and he can move.
This motherfucker hit his own stuff in the face with his own fucking
Yeah.
I ain't trying to hear that, man.
Oh, shit. All right.
Deontay got his flaws. He don't do that kind of shit.
Right.
You know, but nah, I get what you're saying. I think it's a battle of the giants. It's an interesting fight because I feel Deontay is a live dog, and I wonder what Tyson Fury would do in there with a live dog that's going to throw a lot of punches like Deontay. And what is Deontay going to do when his reach advantage isn't there for him?
Exactly.
Like it wasn't
That's
for
my
Klitschko.
point.
So
Because
that's what makes it so exciting, man.
yeah, he's solely relying on the fact that he has an 83-inch reach and he's 6'6". Everybody he's fighting 6'2" to 6'4" with less reach. I mean, Artur Szpilka had a fucking 7-inch reach disadvantage. You know what I'm saying? So it's an easy fight when you're that big, you're that tall, your reach is that long, and you have power in both hands. It's an easy fucking fight. All right. On top of that, his style is fighting from the outside, pumping the jab to load up on the right hand. That is fucking Deontay Wilder at his best. That's it. So if he's going against a guy that can fight on the outside with a longer reach, and he's taller, and he can box, and he can switch. This motherfucker switches from orthodox to southpaw, and he has an inside game when he wants to fight on the inside. How the fuck is Deontay Wilder, who's one-dimensional, going to cope with that kind of dynamic? That's my point.
Hey, that right hand, and that's why this is why it's good, 2K, because again, we're talking about a guy with a limited skill set, but he is getting the most out of that. He is maximizing that, and that's what makes it exciting.
Okay, go ahead, Seth. What were you gonna say, man?
No, man. That was. I was agreeing with Bo on his point. You know, Deontay does have a limited skill set, but he's getting the most out of it. In our conversation yesterday, you know, and to the point that I made earlier, I'm glad he's having these tough fights. You know, because I do think he's learning from them. You know, and that's the most I could ask for him. You know, is he elite? To your point, no, he's not an elite fighter. But at the end of the day, the trials and tribulations and the adversity that he's faced in these last few fights, I think will gear him up for a guy like Povetkin. Povetkin will gear him up for a guy like Tyson Fury down the line. You know, to your point, Fury is not from a physical aspect in terms of the height and the reach, but it's going to gear him up. And it's going to make him dig that much deeper. As long as he keeps that competitive edge, the sky's the limit for him, man.
All right.
The
Well,
best
shit.
fights are the fights when nobody's afraid of you. And that's what Deontay has going on.
Yeah,
Absolutely. All right, well, shit. Y'all actually answered my 2 questions that I had for y'all. The other one was just really talking about Deontay Wilder and Alexander Povetkin. You know, their negotiations for, I think, a May or a June fight. Seth's already said Deontay Wilder is going to knock him out, which is a big possibility because it's another fighter with a reach disadvantage and he's much shorter. More food, more food for the motherfucking hungry man. Easy. It should be easy work for him. But the fact that
hold
Povetkin,
on, I got a problem with that because a lot of people had Povetkin pumped up to be this.
Well, hold on. This is what I was getting ready to say. Povetkin is much better than a fucking Artur Szpilka. And he's much better than a fucking Eric Molina. And somebody said on one of the social media sites, I don't think Povetkin can get on the inside of Deontay Wilder. Well, if Eric Molina can, anyone, I could get on the motherfucking inside of Deontay Wilder if Eric Molina does it. So what the fuck how do you say Povetkin can't get on the inside of Deontay Wilder? He's gonna get on the inside. The question is, can Deontay Wilder take his power? Because Povetkin's got a fucking mean right hand. Just as old dude, the Cuban. Mike Pettis. Just ask him, B. You know what I'm saying? Alright, YouTube, we're going ahead and wrap this up. We got another one coming. We're going to talk about David Haye. And is he going to be a problem in the heavyweight division? I did a poll on Google+. I'll let y'all know the results. Do what you do in the comment section. Let us know what you think about Deontay Wilder. My man Seth's acting a fool. But be real. This is real talk for real fans. 1.